Will you embrace the dark arts in Hogwarts Legacy? You have the option to learn 3 of the most powerful dark spells in the wizarding world, also known as the Unforgivable Curses: Crucio, Imperio, and Avada Kedavra. According to lore, the Ministry of Magic classified these 3 curses as unforgivable and illegal in 1717, with strict penalties for their use. However, you can cast the Unforgivable Curses without consequence in Hogwarts Legacy. If you're curious about the dark arts, this video will explain how to unlock all 3 Unforgivable Curses and what each spell does in-game. Something to note about these spells is that they are entirely optional to learn and are not found in the main quests or required classes. You can also go through each of the following Unforgivable Curse quests and choose not to learn them. To find each of these quests, you'll want to interact with a Slytherin classmate named Sebastian Sallow and go through his questline. To unlock Crucio, start the quest called In the Shadow of the Study. When you meet Sebastian outside the Slytherin common room, he'll tell you that only a Gaunt knows the location of the Scriptorium's entrance. You'll need to convince a reluctant, ominous Gaunt to help. Light the 3 nearby braziers to open the door to Slytherin's Scriptorium. Once inside, you'll approach 2 interactable items near a locked door. One is part of a series of notes left behind by Noctua Gaunt. If you're like me and want to pick up all the collectibles to read along the way, be sure to pick it up before you move on to the next room. You will not be able to go back once you pass through the door. To the right of the note is Broken Rubble. Use Reparo to put it back together. Speak to Ominous to unlock the door to the next room. There are 3 gates with Slytherin lock puzzles. Find the symbols on each gate to help you solve. If you do not put in the correct symbols by the time the snake makes a full rotation, be prepared for it to attack. As you explore the maze, be sure to keep an eye out for 3 more of Noctua's notes. When you step through the 3rd gate into another corridor, you'll find the final note from Noctua near a locked door with the word Crucio written on the floor. Speak with Sebastian, who eventually will offer to teach you Crucio or cast it on you. This will prompt options for you to learn it or to refuse. Choose either the 2nd or the 3rd option to learn Crucio. After completing the remainder of the quest, you'll be able to equip Crucio to a spell slot for combat. Casting Crucio curses your targeted enemy as they recoil in pain from the tortuous spell and take continued damage over time. Cursed enemies also take extra damage from hits. Spending a talent point on Crucio Mastery enhances your spell to also release a projectile that curses a nearby enemy. To unlock Imperio, start the quest called In the Shadow of Time. Meet Sebastian at the catacomb and enter. You'll face several spider enemies in this dungeon, so it's useful to have fire-based spells such as Incendio or Bombarda for combat and for getting through spider webs. Collect the student journal entry, which explains the barricades that you need to pass through to get to the relic. You'll want to use Accio to move collections of bones to build bridges or archways to move to the next room. Sebastian will speak to you in a cutscene to discuss the Imperious Curse and offers to teach you Imperio. Again, you may choose to learn the spell or refuse. Once you learn the spell, you may equip it to a spell slot immediately. Casting Imperio on an enemy temporarily places them under your control and forces them to fight against other enemies. During this time, they take reduced damage from other enemies, and after the spell wears off, the enemy is still cursed and takes extra damage. Spending a talent point on Imperial Mastery enhances your spell so that an enemy under your control also curses other targets with each successful strike. To unlock Avada Kedavra, start the quest called In the Shadow of the Relic. Speak with Ominous at the catacomb and get ready with your fire-based spells to battle Inferi and more spiders. As you make your way through the catacomb, you'll face an intense battle. No spoilers, you'll have to see what happens yourself, but one major tip is to focus on the boss because the Inferi will continue to spawn in repeated waves. When you exit the catacomb, speak with Sebastian and choose the 2nd option. Everyone should know that curse. This will prompt an opportunity for Sebastian to teach you Avada Kedavra if you choose Yes, Please. Avada Kedavra kills enemies instantly no matter the number of hit points it has. Spending a talent point on Avada Kedavra Mastery enhances your spell so that killing an enemy with it also kills all other cursed enemies. If you refuse to learn any of the 3 Unforgivable Curses and change your mind later, there is a chance to unlock them after completing the main quest line. You can speak to Sebastian in the Undercroft if he's around and ask him to teach you. That's how to unlock all 3 Unforgivable Curses in Hogwarts Legacy. For more on Hogwarts Legacy, be sure to head on over to IGN.com and check out our growing wiki and interactive map. And for everything else video games, stick with IGN.